All right, ladies and gentlemen, High Performance Trader, we're going to be breaking down another live recap webinar where we're going to be breaking down market conditions, how to identify them, how to adapt to them, how to make massive money off trading with them. We've been seeing a lot of large and volatile moves on the market. So my main goal today is to run through with the team how we can capitalize on these moves in a more professional and effective way. So we're going to be breaking down the week ending in 5/5/2023. And preferably, we're going to be really focusing in on the break and retest and how that helps us make super profitable and consistent trades. So let's get it. Welcome, Todd. Welcome, Darren. We're going to kick this off right off the rip with, I'm pulling it up right now, the psychology of the break and retest. So we posted this. I posted this right in Market Philosophy on the Discord. I post this on my Instagram. And in Trader Bootcamp, I'm working on a lesson right now of the break and retest. And this is in it. And this lesson is going to be phenomenal. So I don't know if you guys can see my screen, but I'm just going to run through it. So I have a picture over here of break and retest on the S&P 500. And in it, we have a support over here at 410.38 that gets tested once, twice, and on the third time, sellers break through it, right? And then as price comes and retests this 410.38, it then gets defended once, twice, and then sellers prevail, right? So real quick, I'm just going to read it. So this is the psychology of price movement for the break and retest. So support has been established at 410.38 because there was enough traders who bought at that price to make it support. So every time the market sold off to 410.38, it rallied. And when it rallied, it made winners out of those traders that chose to buy at that price. As a result, 410.38 will take a great deal of significance in the minds of the traders who were successful, right? So each time they were successful will only strengthen their belief in that price level of 410.38. So now when price sells off to 410.38 again for the third time, and just like before, those same buyers step up and enter the position, only this time sellers are very strong and continue to sell right through it. Now, all those traders who chose to buy at 410.38 are now faced with having a deal with, or are faced with having to deal with a losing trade. Some will get out for a small loss. Others will hang on, hoping the market comes back. In any case, the market invalidated their beliefs about the future, and they are suffering considerably, right? We've all been there. So if and when the market now comes back to 410.38 after selling off, how do you think those traders will behave? The traders who were holding on for dear life will sell their position once they get their money back, extremely grateful. The traders who originally cut their losses when price blew past them the first time won't consider buying again at 410.38 because of the psychological pain they experienced before. I'm not saying they will turn into sellers at that level, but they are much less likely to buy now. Hence, support becomes new resistance, right? So basically, let me pull up that day and we'll run right through it, dude. That was on 5/3/2023. Which was okay. No, it wasn't. It did that thing when I screenshotted it. So basically, we'll just break down this as an example. So the way it works here is the buyers that got in here at 406.18 pre-market low made money here, right? So remember prior price performance, that is our edge. So as price comes down here, we have buyers that just step in and get blown away. So now they're experiencing pain right here, right? They're hurt. They're in a losing trade. Now, how he wrote it was some buyers get out for a small loss, others hold. And then as price comes up here and they get their money back, not only are they getting out of their trade, but the most significant thing he mentioned is they're not buying here anymore. What that means is that this area of value, there's barely any buyers. That's why these sellers prevail here. That's why this price is going to sell off here, right? So not only are they getting out of their positions, providing liquidity for sellers, but there is way less buyers here, dude. So this is how the break and retest works. And what I absolutely love about it is
I'm trying to find which day that was.
what
Do you know which day that was?
yeah, hold on. It was
Because the date on your screenshot is somehow wrong.
well, why that works, Darren? Remember when you screenshot your TOS, it just puts it the date that you made it.
That you took the screenshot,
Yeah.
not the date that you're trying
Hold
to
on,
analyze.
let me look. I believe it was.
Because it was rejecting 413.
Was it? All right, hold on. Let's pull it up.
Yeah.
413. Okay, it was. Now, what did it sell off to, Darren? Hold on.
It's sold off to 408. Yeah, 408 demand.
Okay,
413 down to 408 demand.
Oh, it was right. Oh, dude, it was right. It was right here. Okay, so it was 425. So let me pull up the 5-minute 20 days ago. 20 days ago, 5-minute. Yeah, I made a whole lesson on this break and retest, and it is phenomenal. Yeah. Okay, so what day was that, Darren? 425? Oh,
well,
was it
408? Yeah.
No, it was 410:38. Yeah, this was it right here. This was it right here. So this was the day that I just pulled up on the for that lesson. Was it? All right. Well, it doesn't matter. So, anyways, let's just break it down. So you got these buyers here at 410.38, right? That have stepped up multiple times, right? So now that price breaks below it, right? All those buyers are now looking for a way to get out. So once it comes back up to this level, it's vital, right? Because they get out, and not only are they selling, but they're not buying again, right? So when they're not buying shares, what that means is there's way more sellers. This is why sellers are in control of the market. And when we see this, we usually see large trending days, right? So it was really the break and retest is phenomenal. It's been helping me so much. Todd, I know me and you have talked about the break and retest very often. Now, this was another thing that happened here, right? Is this demand zone was broke, right? So once this gets broken, so one thing I've been doing is I trade break and retest when price is not in supply and demand. And when it is in supply and demand, right? So we got demand right here. It gets broken through it. Now, if buyers cannot show up in demand, this is a vital reason to take the market short, right? Because that's just, if buyers aren't going to show up in demand here at 410, right? That means sellers are going to prevail. So,
beautiful trade.
Yeah, man.
I traded kind of the same setup to the long side Friday.
Yeah.
I was looking at the 41.30, 35 level on the ES.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, it's a good place to short, but it kept holding up and it broke.
Yeah.
Retest, and I played the little flag to the long side. I think you took the same trade.
Yeah, so Friday was I made a total of 5 trades Friday, right? And they were all longs, and I want to break down why I took these trades. So one thing I've been doing, right? Because obviously as a supply and demand trader, sometimes we get confused that everything has to be a reversal, right? And we must remember here that just because we've identified a area of value, which is nothing more than an area we're looking for something to happen in, right? So what I'll usually do, so I'm just going to start from the beginning. So the way I charted this, right, and I put this in the pre-market plan, is we had this downward trend and we had this trend line, right? So let me just get rid of some of these lines because there's way too many on here. So Apple had good earnings, right, which kind of helped us immediately understand that the market could go to the upside, right? It could rally. So right off the rip here, you can see everything. I'll always mark pre-market low and I'll always mark pre-market high. And this is why. Right off the rip here, we ripped above pre-market high, came down and retested it, right? Once these buyers showed up, I was in this trade because we didn't have any supply up until 410.46. Right? So first trade right here, long all the way up to 410.46. We started to consolidate. Now there's no reason for me to get out of this trade until we break below this consolidation. So let me just open up the 1 minute because it really helps understand this better. So price comes up off pre-market low, our pre-market high starts to rip. Here's that trend line that we just blew through, right? So now this is telling me conditions are bullish until I see otherwise, right? So price rips, and then we get this consolidation area over here at 409.64. We break through it and then come down and retest it. Once we retest it, look at this Bayesian candle, right? This is telling us buyers are defending this. Once I seen this, I was pretty much made up in my mind because we didn't have much supply until 413 over here. This was telling me that we were going to rally. I got 410.46 from, what was that, Wednesday's. Wednesday had this area of value right here where buyers showed up and we broke through it, retested it, and sold off again. So these areas are so important, man. These break and retests literally tell us where the battle happened and tell us where to look for going forward. So price rips, consolidates, goes much further, hits this 410.46, rejects, blows through it, comes back down, retests it with strength, and rips all the way up to 411.61, right? So that was prime time. I entered here, and here, right? That's where my first 3 trades went. And then price started to and now the way I'm doing this, and when I enter here, is I'm targeting this 411.10, right? I'm targeting that last spot, and I want to see a struggle or a battle here. You know what I mean? And what I'm doing here is letting price tell me who's in control of the market, right? Because if buyers can bring price up here to 411.10 and beat it, that's telling me buyers are stronger than sellers. If that's telling me buyers are stronger than sellers, there are no reason for me to look for puts. I am only looking for longs. And that is how I use this break and retest, right? Because now price rips up to here. We made a lower low. This is when I got out of my trade, right? And then now I'm waiting. Now I'm in patient mode, and I want to see what happens here at 410.46, right? Because this was a vital area that we battled with, beat. So now, just like the psychology of price movement that we broke down before, the people that went short here are now in miserable pain right here. They're in losing trades, and they're looking for a spot to get out. So they hold, and price comes down to that same area. This is when they get out of the trade because they got their money back. And now the buyers prevail because those people that went short here are not going short here, right? Which means buyers are way stronger. Look at the volume that came in. Heavy buyers come up. And when break and retest matches with VWAP, it's a slam. Dude, it's a slam dunk. That's a slam dunk.
Yes, indeed.
So real quick, one more thing. I did not go long here at VWAP. I actually got stomped out of a long because I first went long again right here. And then my stop loss was below VWAP, right? So price rallies down. I get stomped out. So now I'm reassessing the situation because I know large money just used me for liquidity, right? Just used me and abused me. So now, now I'm looking. What do I need to see to take the market long again? I need to see a breakout and this massive bull flag, right, to the upside. Now, remember, we got that 412.50 area, 413 supply. That's target. So if we could break out here, I at least am targeting high of day and above. And then once we broke out of this trend line, I took the market long again. My stop loss would have been below the trend line on a fake out. And then price just kind of, and the volume was really low right here, but buyers were prevailing. And then look at the break and retest again, dude. So we break high of day, right? Come down, retest it. Once I see this candle, I'm like, oh, it's over. And literally, we came down, retested it again. Just like we talked about, the people that went short here are in pain right here. They can't wait to get out of their trade. And when they get out of their trade, they provide liquidity for large money, which then makes the price rally inconsiderably to the upside. So, I mean, Friday was a perfect day for the break and retest.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no, it was really good. And you know, I used to struggle very hard on days like this because I used to look for reversals only. And I feel like we got to address this because it's critical. As a supply and demand trader, we capitalize on reversals all day, right? That used to be my bread and butter, right? Was these double bottoms, these double tops, and they still can be, right? But one thing I really want all traders to understand is that the way I've been trading is I'll look for large double bottoms and double tops on larger time frames, right? Like the 1 hour. And then these are the reversals I go to trade. I don't look for reversals on shorter time frames anymore. Instead, I let the larger time frame tell me the conditions. And then I break into the day and go, what do I need to see to identify a trending market? Right. So that's kind of how I've been doing it. So
Yeah, I love those high tight flags.
yeah,
If it's in the top half, the top third of the move, I'm going with the trend most time with that.
yeah. Well, you know, we talked about that before, Todd. Right? Like I last month, I identified I was journaling extensively, going through my journal, and I realized like 90% of my losing trades were reversals. And it's not that I was not trading my strategy; I was trading against market conditions. So, you know, it's just really important to understand where your double bottoms and double tops come into play. And for me, that's on the highest time frame, right? So let's
Agreed.
just we'll start at the beginning of the week and go from there. Okay, so Monday we got the S&P 500 over here. I'm gonna pull up SPY and QQQ, and we are going to break this week down, first week of May, and go from there. All right, so Monday was May 1st. Okay, so this was Monday here, and yeah, I mean, and I know it sounds simple, but these pre-market highs and pre-market lows, and these yesterday highs and yesterday lows are so important. Okay, so this was Monday. So Monday we got SPY over here on the left, we got QQQ on the right. Let me pull out the 5-minute. Okay, here we go. Hey Darren, do you know what end of day was on QQQ on Monday?
End of day on QQQ.
Like 322.
Yeah, it was 322. 322.46, I think.
All right, thank you, bro. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this up. 322.46.
322.63.
Okay, 63. Yeah. Okay. So we got end of day here on QQQ 322.63. We got end of day on SPY over here at 315.98. Right. So we're just gonna break it down for anybody that doesn't know. End of day is previous day close. Right. So previous day close, whatever the commodity ends at the end of the day, that is a super vital and super important area of value. You can see all the volume that goes into that, right? So every day we mark end of day and we use it to help us understand market conditions. So SPY on Monday rips above end of day, right? QQQ rips into end of day and starts to sell off, right? So we get these two rejections on QQQ. We had this super strong demand zone over here at, hold on, let me just change that. Hold on. Demand. Okay, let's make it green. Okay. So we got demand here, 321. So one thing that I've been doing that's been helping me tremendously is being patient and letting the market tell me her story. So we had supply over here at 417. This day, QQQ was below end of day, SPY was above it. And this kind of caused me to not feel confident in taking either or as a trade. So I waited, right? So I waited for a setup that I liked. And I think it's really important for us to understand you don't always have to immediately find a trade at 9:30. You don't have to find a trade at 11. You don't have to find a trade at all. If you don't like what you're seeing, don't trade it. It's so important because the minute you start trading setups that you're not confident with is the minute you're going to hurt yourself. So this end of day played a key level. So you can see here, price ripped up past end of day, broke, and retested it once, twice, 3, 4 times, and then buyers came in. So once again, the break and retest is helping us understand this is a bullish condition, right? Now SPY over here, or QQQ over here, was rejecting end of day, so I did not feel comfortable making any trades yet. Once QQQ sold off into 321 demand and buyers showed up, look at the volume. That's why it's so important to keep your eye on the volume. The volume tells you everything, right? So volume peaks up in this area of value. Here we are defending end of day. We get volume. This is when I took the market long, targeting supply. Oops, excuse me. Price rips. Now check this out. Price rips, breaks this area, which was high of day. So this kind of helps me understand the break and retest and how it helps us with market conditions. So I'm still in this trade for longs. We come down, break our area of value. This is where I finally get out of the trade, right? So use the break and retest to help you understand conditions, right? QQQ was rejecting pre-market high. Super perfect trade right there. Check it out. Pre-market high, 323.44. Multiple tons of rejection candles, heavy sell-off, right? So once again, this is how we use both to understand what's going on. So that was Monday. Anybody got any questions on Monday? I want to talk about Monday. Or
I couldn't get it. I couldn't really get a read on it. I mean, on Monday it was kind of sloppy to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that happens. I mean, like you said, you looked at the Qs and you looked at the SPY, it's kind of all wonky.
Yeah,
wonky looking.
and that's completely fine. You know what I mean? And you know what, Todd? Good for you for not making a move in trading. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the days where you go, screw it, I'm gonna go for it. Where you make a bad decision. You know what I mean? So that's one of the biggest components in becoming successful as a day trader is knowing when your edge is present. And I agree. That day was all over the place. But the next day, we had a massive sell-off, right? So let's break this down. This was a very good break and retest day. And the reason why this was so good, right? Okay, so let me just set this up. So remember, we got this key level of 321.47. I'm going to show you guys where I got this key level from. So 321.47 I got from here. Once again, break and retest. So 321.47 was a key area of value when we broke past it. Because if we can hold above 321.47, I'm looking for longs to the upside, right? But if we cannot hold above this level, that's telling me buyers are not strong, which means I'm going short, right? So I have this level over here, 321.47. And on Tuesday, when we break below this, I'm looking for sellers, no matter what. You know what I mean? And look, you can see buyers showed up in the beginning of the day, right? Basing candle.
Yeah.
Now, this could have been a long, but I did not feel comfortable going long here because SPY had already started selling off heavy, right? SPY was below pre-market low. And any time you're below pre-market low, that is a super bearish indicator unless you have like a strong demand zone somewhere, but there really wasn't. So this is, again, what QQQ looked like. This is what SPY looked like. So with SPY selling off heavy, QQQ is battling this 321.44. The first trade I took here was off VWAP. I won't forget it. It was one of the best trades I've taken in a long time. because it was one of those times where you leave a runner and this thing sold off the whole day pretty much. So this is what it looked like, QQQ. And notice here, price keeps breaking below 321.47, right? Even though buyers are showing up, that's a super bearish indicator there, right? Because, it breaks below, they hold, then breaks below again, and then starts to consolidate underneath it. That's screaming shorts, right? So we got this rejection off VWAP. This is where I first went short, and then price ripped and then started to sell off, and then we got nasty selling to the downside. SPY, I went short right here off of VWAP, and once again, selling came in. And the reason I went short right there is because, hold on, let me see. Oh, yeah, there it is. So notice I constantly use prior days areas of value. So first we broke pre-market low over there at 414.70. Now I'm looking at this demand zone here, right? So if we could break 414.17, I'm looking for heavy selling. Now look, another break and retest right off 414.17. Break below it, come up, retest it, bam, heavy selling. So use prior days areas of value if they break, just like we use them for longs, right? Because if buyers showed up here, I'd have been looking to go long 100%. Like if buyers showed up in this at this level, I'd have been looking for longs. But since they didn't, that's telling me sellers are way stronger. So and we had this large head and shoulders, right, on larger time frame. That was, I think we threw that in the pre-market plan as well, right? That's a strong indicator that sellers are in control here. We can't make a higher high. So that's perfect right there and look at, dude. So once we break 414.17, where's my next target? Right here. Bam. All right. Instead of the box, I'm going to use the price level. Let's duplicate that. Oh, wrong one. Hold on. Let's get rid of this.
Yeah, Josh, this is the day that I think you brought up the if-then statements.
Yes.
So, if we break demand with strength,
yes,
then I will target the next demand zone.
Yes.
And that was key this day.
Yes, absolutely. It's literally if-then statements. For anybody that ever, is in a computer programming, they use if-then statements. But it's very simple to understand. If buyers, if sellers overpower buyers at 414.17, then I go short. Keep it simple. Keep this as simple as possible. We talk about simplicity all the time. When you start looking at 4, 5, or 3, even 3 different indicators, right? RSI, MACD, I need all these to line up to make a trade. Those are the trades you're going to get hurt. And not only are you going to fail, you're not going to know why you failed. And that is most dangerous. Mark Douglas talks about it. He calls it random winning and random losing. It is critical to make a simple trade plan here, right? And go, hey, if we break 414.17, then I'm going short, targeting 412.38, right? That's it. And then look at another break and retest. We break this area value, retest it, and sell off massively. And the reason why I love this is it's really helping you understand market conditions to a T. So, and now once we break that level, our next level is 410.28. Bam, snap that one too. So it was literally, I think I made 3 trades this day. Oh, and they were all the same. They were all, if this happens, then this. If this happens, then this, right? It's literally find where your areas of value are. We do that by identifying them through previous price action, right? Buyers showed up here, here, and here. So now we're looking for buyers not to show up there. If they don't show up, look at what's going to happen in the market. Dude, look at that. Look at that. Literally, dude, sold off, what is that, $8? It's insane.
Yeah, that's super strong selling.
Yeah, and it's because the whole market was going, if buyers don't show up here, then this, right? I'm trying to look at where that 408 came to play. 408 came to play. Oh man, wait. Am I looking at which day is this? This is.
Dude, honestly, I didn't see a strong zone that it rejected off of that day. No, I just think that sellers. It was kind of a break and retest, but it wasn't like a tested zone that we knew.
This one.
But I mean, at that point, it just sold off that much that like sellers were just gonna step out. Sellers were just holding.
Well, it was like this. So now, so once price starts to come down to here. Now remember, we don't have this labeled because I wasn't able to identify a good area either. Let me just check QQQ because sometimes I use QQQ to get out. QQQ as well did not have any major key area value, but once these wicks started coming in and we got some buyers, I think I got out right here. And the reason I did is we made a higher low. Right? Anytime you get a higher low, Bayesian candle, perfect area to get out. Then I was looking for a short off VWAP, and it didn't happen. And listen, that's fine. It's literally trading's all about identifying the most probable setup. What has the highest probability of working in your favor, right? So the VWAP rejection with a break and retest, that's usually clutch. It wasn't. That's fine.
Went short there. Yeah.
And this is why I love the break and retest, because right here, where's your stop loss at? My stop loss is literally 20 cents above VWAP. So I'm risking a 20-cent move to make another potential $2.50 to the downside. Perfect. And those are the trades we got to take. We must take the trades that have the least vulnerability, right? I'm only risking 20 to 30 cents here to make a $2.50 move to the downside. It's clutch, man. I absolutely love it. It's perfect. It helps us understand the conditions so much. It is vital.
There was another thing which I saw which helped me get a bearish state of mind for the whole week, and I found it on the daily time frame. So we had, I guess maybe like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, we had like a high around 415.70, and then we broke that, but sellers came in. So we tried to break that high, but then that one day was just a super bearish candle.
Oh, here. Yeah.
You can see that wick to the upside. So basically, we tried to break the high, we failed.
Yeah.
And we had that head and shoulders forming, which was like all signaling.
Yeah.
To play short, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, that level right there was the level I was talking about on QQQ. So use the daily time frame, right? So we have this consolidation, this resistance. If we break this, then I'm looking for a retest to go long. That's why I went long this day, because we broke and I was looking for a retest. We got it, and then we went long, hit the next supply zone, which is completely fine, and then sellers prevailed, and now we're
at the end of the day. It makes total sense to go long, because at that point we were still in an uptrend.
Yeah, this was still extremely bullish because we were above this area of value. That's another reason why I was looking. And one thing I've realized is, what does smart money need to do to get as much trades they can? They got to fake you out. So what do they try to do? They tried to get price to go below end of day. This looks extremely bearish right here. I mean, not really, but kind of. I mean, oh yeah, look, we rejected VWAP. I mean, this is looking bearish, but I'm not looking for puts until we are below pre-market low. Because until we're below pre-market low in this day, I must look at it in a bullish state of mind because we are above that, right? So that's kind of how I assess the market conditions, right? So we're bullish here. If we can retest end of day with strength, I'm looking for longs. What's it going to take for me to go start thinking bear? If we get below pre-market low. You see what I mean? So if we're below pre-market low, then I'll look for shorts. So, really good point, Darren. Absolutely. Perfect.
I mean that little sell-off that was rejected VWAP, like clearly there were sellers there, but it was just mistimed.
Yep.
Like if you had hopped in that short, which I actually did short that, but then I hopped out just because we were still above, or we found buyers at end of day basically.
Yes.
And whatever, sellers were still there. It was just needed to run up, test that high once more. And then we saw that clear rejection on both ETFs.
So one thing that's been working very well for me on the VWAP rejection is I wait until a break and retest lines up with VWAP, right? So I think this day was a prime example. We had our – hold on, let me see. But basically, Friday was actually a very good example, but it was in a bullish market condition. Hold on, let me find it.
Yeah, but it was still a break and retest.
Yeah, yeah, right there. It
was that break and retest.
Let me see. Yeah. So when VWAP lines up with area of value like that, bam, slam dunk.
See, that what I like about that day is you did not have to chase it at the open.
Yeah.
Like let's say you didn't get in at all.
Yeah.
All you had to do was wait for that break and retest.
Yeah.
And it was very clear when I was watching level 2 that buyers were stepping in. Like every time we saw a red candle, I just saw tons of buying on the tape. Which basically showed me that and with that much buying and price it wasn't selling off properly, like at all.
Right.
It sold off a little bit and then we saw a green candle. It sold off and then another green candle.
Yep.
Which is super bullish.
Yeah, well, and that's another thing with that patience thing, right? There's no point in making a trade until it lines up, and it's really hard because I mean it happens to me, it happens to all of us. We don't want to miss out. So as price rallies, $5, and you don't make a trade, we must get okay with that. You know what I mean? And unless you feel confident, right? Like I was confident right here because we broke pre-market high and retested it. But if you're not, it's completely fine with being patient and waiting for that move. That was a massive sell-off. So the next day, this day I actually made. So this was the day, Darren, where we both went short.
I went short, then I went long.
Yeah,
but I mean, both were really weird because contracts just were not moving.
Yeah,
they were just like stuck.
So Todd, let me ask you a question.
Wait, I don't think he's here anymore.
Oh, did Todd stop out?
Yeah, he just left for a little bit.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, he left.
Yeah, so that's a really good point, Darren. So basically, contracts this day, volume was extremely low. The contracts literally, I made a move here. I think it was off VWAP. Yeah, it was. I went from VWAP down. Got the break and retest. It was like a $2 move, and I was only up like 30%. So I stayed in it.
Yeah.
And then.
Do they always do that? Contracts always do that on news days? Because I don't really remember them.
Yeah.
I remember them being expensive. It makes sense why they're expensive, but the fact that they weren't moving was like strange to me.
So look, Darren, this is the day from my Discord, the psychology of price movement. See this?
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, right here. So you got. This is a perfect example of a break and retest. So I
continuation.
Yeah. So this day right here, so I went short off VWAP, and then buyers showed up here. Now remember, use your prior day areas, as areas of value, right? Because all an area of value is an area we're looking for smart money to step back into the equation, right? So price stepped up right here. So if I'm going short right here off pre-market low, this is my first target. It's my first, right? So then my next target's right here. And then my next target is down here. So that's kind of how I trade. And I mean, look, they were all pretty much hit. And yeah, that's another reason why I love this strategy, because as we break these areas, we target the next ones. And then look at, so how this worked here is we got the news. Price rallied and it was doing this crazy cluster. Now it's ideal to wait for a specific area to be broken on days like this, because you have large volume. You know you're going to get a large continuation once whoever is in control takes control of the market. So once we break this 410.38, let me just whip out the 1 minute, because I think it really helped us see what was going on here.
I mean, it was going all over the place during whatever speech was going on.
Yeah, Powell. So this is what it looked like here. We got this crazy move. There's really no point to enter a trade here. I did go for some longs when we broke this, and I got stomped out very quick. So we broke this right here and retested it. It rallied. I had a trailing stop in, so I literally it stopped me out really quick. Then let me just get rid of this. Okay, so then we got this area of demand, right? That played a vital part earlier in the day, right? 410, we'll call it 410.40. Price comes down, touches it, right? Then price comes down, touches it again, right? And then, so remember with the psychology of price movement, all these guys are making money, right? These guys are making money going long here at 410.40, and then price rips underneath it, right? And then once they get underneath it, they come up, and this is where they get stomped out, because they get their money back. They're thankful. Now, those guys aren't going long anymore, right? Now, sellers are in complete control of the market, and it sells right off the 408.
That was it right there.
Mm-hmm. Look at that.
That was the example.
Yep, this is it.
They're small like this.
Yo, who isn't muted?
Big Huss. Big Huss, I think you gotta mute yourself.
Big Huss, you mind hitting the mute, buddy? Thank you. Thank you. All right, so yes, this is a perfect example, and this is in the Trader Boot Camp that we that's going to be coming out soon. I got to film the video tonight, but this right here is a perfect example of what a break and retest looks like, and it's just so nice to see. You could really see them well on the 1 minute and use these.
Sorry, guys.
What's up, buddy?
Oh no, I just stepped out, man. I missed what you guys are saying.
Okay, that's all right. So basically, we're going over a break and retest, because we've been seeing these a lot lately, right? So basically what a break and retest is you identify an area of value, right, where previously there's been buyers or sellers, right? So in this scenario, buyers showed up here at 410.38, right? So let me just come over here. So buyers really showed up right here. So in the event we can break below 410.38, right? So you'll see it right here. Price then, it gets retested 410.38. Buyers show up again. That's where we get these very long wicks, right? So buyers are defending 410.38 once, twice. On the third time, when sellers push right through it, now this has changed the whole demeanor for the market, right? Now this is telling us that sellers are in control, and this is where we're going to be looking for shorts. Right, so price rips up to 410.38, rejects once, rips right back up to it, rejects again, and then sells off for the rest of the day. So, yeah, that was a really good day right there.
And that trade too is also playing with market conditions.
Yes.
Because I mean, we saw weakness the day before. Yeah, you tried going short earlier in the day, and I mean, we just didn't see continuation.
Yes.
But then it was clear that sellers were present, and that was playing with conditions. Because
because that's what we were talking about.
Was very bearish.
Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about, Darren. And that's another reason why I was looking for shorts this day. I mean, we're in a clear downtrend. We're below multiple areas of value, right? So we're looking for shorts. and those premiums just weren't paying the way I wanted them to, and based on that, that made me hold much longer than usual, and I paid for it, and that's completely fine. You know, what are you gonna do? On to the next.
Josh, if you pull up that day on QQQ,
yeah, let's do
there
it.
was a supply zone created right at the beginning of that day when we sold off.
Let's see here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so it was probably Tuesday, I think.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me whip up the 5 minute. Okay, so yes, right here. Oh yeah, this was perfect.
Yeah. So what would you think about going short when we see these long wicks into that supply zone?
Oh.
Like, do you think it would have been appropriate to go short at that time? I know it's kind of hindsight.
Absolutely.
But, like, do you ever do that on news days? I just didn't take it, but I liked to see, because I was expecting to see it act as a magnet at some point. You know?
And it literally did.
It didn't quite make that supply, but QQQ it did. It rejected it perfect.
So let's look at it like this. This is nothing but a break and retest on a super large time frame, right? So to answer your question, yes, this is perfect. Now, on a larger time frame, you got this. Look, that's that 321.41 area, right? Now that is the same area we were talking about that played a vital role, right? Where if we can hold above or below this area, then I'm looking to go long or short. Now this 321 area, price rallied past, and then once we got back below it, it played a massive supply zone. Now, to answer your question, absolutely, these are perfect shorts. I don't like them only because price is fluctuating. What is that? $4 every 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was during news, which is why I didn't take it. But.
And that's another reason why I love waiting for specific areas to be broken and then trading with that trend, right? So we reject this strong supply zone, right? So instead of going for that massive move, I'm going for the most probable move, which means if we could break low of day, I'm looking for shorts. And then we broke low of day, come up, retested it, and use the 5 minute, because on the 1 minute it's not going to look that clean. Now, and obviously you must use both, right? But on the 5 minute, you can literally see the wicks of the retest, right? So we break it.
The 5 minute, it was also confusing because it was just so much fluctuation that it was like a massive wick to the downside and then a massive wick to the upside and then another one to the downside. It was just too confusing for me. Even on the 5 minute. But I mean, there was another retest right at 205, I believe. No, 305. And that one was that seems like the most optimal entry.
Oh yeah. Yep. And look at the bodies of the candle, Darren. I never noticed that. So look at which side the bodies are on, and try to trade with that, you know. And overall, what the break and retest does so well, once again, I know I've said it 100 times, is help you understand who is in control of the market. It really has played a vital role for me here, because even on larger time frames, it works tremendous. This day, I went short on QQQ and got stomped out. And it just goes to show the break and retest does not work perfectly every single time. So we had this pre-market low area of 316.05. So now check this out, Darren. So this is a key level area value, right? 316. Obviously, if we can break below 316, I'm looking for a much larger move. Let me see. To 313 demand, right? So I'm looking to break here, retest here, and come much further, right? But instead of really breaking below 316, look at how well buyers they didn't really defend it, but we didn't get that clean break below and clean retest, right? We broke below it, came back above it, hit VWAP. This is when I first went short. Still a really good trade. It just, we weren't completely below demand, and I guess, looking back, that's maybe what I read wrong. I mean, we're still consolidating in a bearish way in a demand zone that shows weakness. So I definitely would take this trade again. It just sold off, and then buyers came in, and price began to reverse. And then I use this area for longs, right? So this is why it's so important to look at these areas as areas of value, right? So they're not bullish or bearish areas precisely. Instead, these are areas we're looking for volatile opportunities, right? So yes, I'm going short right here. But once price gets above 316 and holds, now I'm looking for longs, right? So you got to be able to use these areas as tools to understand who's in control of the market. So you get this inverse head and shoulders right here below 316, super bullish indicator. You get these wicks right here. I mean, I ended up going long once price got above VWAP, and we got this strength right here. Took the market long, targeting one of my areas in pre-market, and but this day was kind of all over the place.
Yeah, it was a little confusing. I love to see those wicks at VWAP. I mean, that's if you had taken that same exact trade multiple times this week, you would have been profitable. That was just the one time that it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a great example that like nothing is 100%.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why it's so important. Just like we said, look for the most probable trade. Look for the trades that are the simplest, right? I for so long I would stress myself out looking for a million different indicators, and all in all it hurts you. So we're gonna do another quick recap on Friday here, because there's something I want to point out that helps me tremendously. So I think I put this in the pre-market plan as well. I got rid of pre-market data, right? So once again, I will identify all my areas of interest, and then take off pre-market data and go, hey, if we gap above yesterday's highs, look at this, dude, to the T. So we're opening above previous day's highs. Let me whip this out on the 5-minute. So we got yesterday high. Let me just get rid of some of these lines. Remove. Okay. So we got yesterday's high over here at 407. And I literally put in the Discord, if we can hold above 407, right? And there was a picture of this. I'd be let the market come down, retest it, and target hold on. Let me get SPY over here. So this worked out a little differently. But when you're holding above, actually, let's do a QQQ then, because QQQ, I think, is a perfect example of this. Okay. So yesterday's high over here, we got 318.19, right? Which was yesterday's high. We'll call it 318.20. We open above it, and we get a large wick coming out of yesterday's high, right? Clear example that buyers are in control of the market, right? It's because if we can make a higher high above this resistance, right? There's a seller here. If we can get above this seller, that's telling us sellers are not as present as buyers are. And once again, price ripped right above pre-market high, retested it, right? So now we're going, hey, we're above yesterday's highs. We're above pre-market high. We retested pre-market high and rallied off it, right? Check it out. Multiple candles. 1, 2, 3, 4. This right here is a clean slam dunk reason to take the market long, targeting the next supply zone, right? So remember, we're identifying areas of value, and then we're targeting the next, resistance. And then we rip right into this resistance, right? Retest it and rally. And then we got that 321 area, right? Because right here from 319 to 321, there's absolutely no supply. Look, there is no supply zone present right here. This is all just liquidity that needs to be filled. And it literally did all get filled. Oh, yeah, just straight boom.
You'll use the pre-market high as an area of value too?
Yes, absolutely. Now remember, when I say area of value, all what I'm talking about is an area I'm looking to understand who is in control of the market. So when pre-market high and pre-market low, they're so important because, hold on, let me just bring them back over here. So pre-market high, the reason it's pre-market high is because that was the last time we seen a seller, right? A seller took control of price here. So if we can get above this area, that means buyers are stronger than sellers. I hope that makes a little sense, right? And same with pre-market low. So pre-market low here is where buyers first stepped in. So if price can come back down to pre-market low, we're looking for buyers to show up. But if they can't show up or don't show up, that's a perfect reason to be in a more bearish state of mind. So in this scenario, we break pre-market high, right? Buyers rip past pre-market high. So now this is a clean area, right, to take the market long on a retest, right? Because remember in that psychology of price movement, everybody that went short here is going to be getting stomped out of their trades when they retest it. So, and once again, we're using these areas to help us understand who is in control of the market. Now, there's been plenty of times where pre-market high will be a strong supply zone, and that seller will show up, and you'll take the market short. That's why it's so important to use the candles. Let the candles tell you the story of what's going on, and trade with that direction. So, yeah.
Yeah, I did a study over the last 2 months to understand what happens when we break pre-market high or pre-market low with strength. And basically, 75% of the time that we broke pre-market high with strength, the whole day ended up being bullish.
Right.
And 92% of the time that we broke pre-market low with strength,
yep,
the whole day was bearish.
So
like, that's the kind of indication. It didn't necessarily act as like an area of rejection. It was an area of, okay, if this happened, there's a high chance that the whole day is going to end up bullish.
Yes.
No,
that was absolutely, Darren. That's a perfect indicator. So yeah, it's and now think of it like this. That's pre-market high and pre-market low. Now chart patterns is nothing but human behavior. So if it'll happen with pre-market high and pre-market low, it's going to happen on a large time frame as well, right? And the larger the time frame, the higher the weight. That's why swing trading is so effective. Now I'm a clear day trader, right? So this right here is a perfect example of pre-market high being a supply zone, right? So pre-market high, that is a seller is present. There is a seller here that buyers cannot beat, right? So in the event that price can come up and retest this pre-market high, right? And you get these long wicks, bearish candlesticks, that's telling us, hey, buyers are in control. Sellers are in control. We're looking for shorts. Now, the study Darren did is when price then breaks pre-market high, in the probability of price rallying, right? And that's exactly what we've seen over here on the right, where price broke pre-market high and rallied for the rest of the day. And it's just really important to be able to identify these areas because they're then magnets, right? Look, we broke pre-market high. We literally didn't see any selling until 321.50. Just super bullish. I rarely will you see price rip $4 on the QQQ in less than 30 minutes or 40 minutes. And then another perfect break and retest here too is anytime you see selling, right? So, I mean, you get this buyers are in control. You get this little seller right here. So everyone that went short here is now experiencing emotional distress as price rallies above 321, right? So now when price comes back down, they get stomped out. When they get stomped out, they're literally providing liquidity for large money, which is why price then rallies, right? And now you got some sellers right here going, hey, I want to go short right here. So then they take the market down. And now these guys that went short here getting stomped out. Bam, price rallies. Same thing happens here. It's literally just human behavior repeated over and over and over. And the break and retest has really helped me, guys. And anybody that is, kind of just looking for reversals, it's going to handicap you as a trader. Listen, I love trading reversals. I trade them almost daily. But I really want everybody to try to trade the break and retest this week and wait patiently for pre-market high, pre-market low to be broken and understand which direction the market's headed. Because once these areas are broke, like, quick example, Monday, if we're gonna, buyers they may retest this high of 323.76, right? So if buyers take price into here and sellers don't prevail, wait for price to rip above it, come down, retest it, and then this would be your area to go long, targeting 326, right? But then remember, if then statements. If sellers do show up here, wait for price to break below this 321.44 area, right? Retest it and then sell off to the downside, right? It's a way more patient way to trade, but it helps you understand the conditions and trade with them. And that, my friend, is one of the most important things you could do as a trader, is trading with large money. It's really helped me, especially recently, become super profitable, right? Like it's been a huge game changer for me, the break and retest. So
I think another reason why it's super important is like when you have two highs that are like pretty much the same level and you're coming to retest it a third time, if you just go long as soon as price breaks that level, you could be used as liquidity to then suddenly knife back down. So it peaks its head above those two highs and then jumps back down. But if you wait for that break and retest, you'll obviously you won't be in a trade, so you won't be getting caught short, and you'll see the opportunity to go long basically present itself. And it prevents you from just going short when you're in that supply zone, or even when you've just broken it.
Yeah, that's a super important point, right? Because when price rips past these, right, you get major liquidity, or you get major volume. If you just jump in, you're going to get a horrible entry. Wait for price to come down, retest. If it doesn't and just continues to rally, you have no business making the trade. You have no business, because chances are it's going to rally into the next supply zone and just sell off massive. That retest solidifies the fact that the buyer or seller is in control of the market, right? Because let's just break it down. If on Monday price just rallies and doesn't retest this area, that's telling me that when the sellers do come in, they're coming in hot, right? And then price is going to have a huge reversal, right? But if price rips past 323.76, comes down and retests it, and those buyers show up, that is just that much more confirmation that the buyers are in control, and that is a way more higher probable trade. So really good stuff. That's a really good point, Darren. We're about to wrap it up, guys. Is there anybody that wants to talk about any day, any question, or anything like that before we wrap up? The floor is yours. If not, that's completely fine.
Hey, bro, can you explain again that? I lost my screen. I lost my screen here. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
That's okay.
Can you explain about you?
He's cutting out a little bit.
It's all right. Can you say that? Can you say that again, my friend? Hey, Big Us, are you still with us? Are you still with us, my friend? I cannot hear you. Let me see.
I can almost hear him super faint.
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah, he's having some technical difficulties with the laptop.
So we'll just talk about. I know one thing he's asked me is just how to identify some entries. So let's pick a good example. Oh, there you are, buddy. I hear you. Yeah. Go ahead and message it to me.
Hold on, man. Let me go to my phone.
There you are.
Here. This tablet is dying or something.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I'm going to turn this off, man. I'll get you on my phone.
Okay. All right, so while we wait for that, that's a really good point, Darren. Like when price rips, and I think I texted this to you the other day, but when price rallies right past that area of value on the break and retest, there's just a high probability that it's going to rip right into supply, and you're gonna be used as a fake out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic way of basically like grabbing liquidity for a move down, you know? And it's not necessarily that it's going to be a massive sell-off. It's just going to be a non-ideal timing of your trade, basically.
Right.
And it happened a couple times this week. And I'm also going to be watching for Monday because, I mean, Wednesday and Friday on SPY, we made basically relative equal highs.
Yes.
And then we also have QQQ is at a supply zone.
Yeah.
And
so this is going to tell us.
Pretty much retested highs back on Monday.
And that's why I love looking at the market this way. Because if sellers defend this, no doubt, right? But if they don't, what's that telling us? Right? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that. If then, it's powerful. All right, Big Huss, are you back, my friend?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go. What was your question?
Oh no, about the double tops you mentioned on 1 hour before you make a short.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay.
Can you explain that a little bit, bro?
Yes, absolutely. So basically, we look for chart patterns, right, consistently.
Yeah.
And so I'll just use. I think I was talking about this double bottom here. I think it was on SPY. Let me pull up SPY really quick. Okay, so every morning, right, every single day before I put on a trade, I open up a larger time frame, right? So it could be the 4 hour, it could be the daily, doesn't matter, right? You want to look for these chart patterns on a higher time frame, right? So we'll just use the 1 hour. 1 hour works very well. So when we get this large double bottom here on the 1 hour time frame, ripping off this 404 demand, right? That right there is telling us, because it's on a large time frame, it holds a lot of weight. The higher the time frame, the stronger the area of value is, right? So 404 was respected here, and then it's respected here. So now, for me to become bearish, I want to see price hold below this 404, invalidating this double bottom, right? That is how I'm looking at this. Until then, I'm looking for short. I'm looking for buyers, right? Because you want to trade with the market conditions, right? And we use these chart patterns on higher time frames to go, hey, this is a bullish chart pattern. On a time frame, I'm looking for longs, right? Now the same thing happens on with bearish, right? So you got this head and shoulders. You got left shoulder, you got a head, you got a right shoulder.
Yeah.
So since we identify this, right, on a larger time frame, we're going, hey, I'm looking for shorts. I'm looking for sellers to step in. What do I need to see to take the market short? And in this case, it was a break below pre-market low, because if we could break below pre-market low here, let me just like that. So this is what the market looked like. So in pre-market plan, we're going, hey, we got a left shoulder, we got a head, we got a right shoulder. If we could break below pre-market low here, I want to see a continuation to the downside, right? So we use these chart patterns on these higher time frames to help us understand, or at least have an idea of the most probable trade going forward.
Okay, sounds cool. Huh.
Yeah, so I hope that kind of helps you understand, because these chart patterns are nothing but human behavior. And what I mean by that is every time you identify a chart pattern, right, all you're seeing here is large money acting in a bullish scenario, a bullish way. They like this 404 area, right? So when price comes back down to 404, if buyers show up, we're looking for longs. Now, I couldn't trade pre-market, right? So I'm waiting for the breakout. We get the breakout, so now I'm looking for longs up to 414. So, yeah,
Gregory, I think you might need to mute yourself.
Oh, yep. Go ahead, hit the mute. I think people kind of got the timing messed up. We're actually just wrapping up. We started here at 11, guys. We just broke through everything, but Gregory, welcome to the team.
Through Wednesday.
And I just
Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you gonna work?
All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up. All right, so go ahead, check this out in the weekly recap. Hit me up, guys. Anyone have any questions? Go ahead and send me a message, and I will see you guys Monday.
All right, man. Hey, thanks a lot, bro.
Yes, no problem.